The Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C., released photos of the suspect they believe targeted homeless men. A series of shootings targeting homeless men in New York City and Washington, D.C., were carried out by the same suspect, officials said Sunday. The 5 shootings left 2 men dead and took place over a 9-day period this month, police said. The New York Police Department, NYPD, and Washington's Metropolitan Police Department, MPD, are working with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF, on the investigation. The agencies said in a joint statement. The agencies described the victims in each incident as experiencing homelessness, and cited similar circumstances and characteristics in each shooting and recovered evidence as the basis for the joint investigation. The mayors of both cities issued a joint statement Sunday night saying a cold-blooded killer on the loose. The first shooting happened around 4 a.m. on March 3 in the 1100 block of New York Avenue Northeast, the MPD said in an earlier statement Sunday. Officers responded to a call of shots fired and found a man suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. He was treated at a hospital for non-life-threatening injuries, the statement said. The second shooting was reported around 1:21 a.m. on March 8 in the 1700 block of H Street Northeast, MPD said. Officers found another man suffering from apparent gunshot wounds and he was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Then, around 2:54 a.m. on March 9, an MPD member noticed a fire in the 400 block of New York Avenue Northeast and a man's remains were discovered after the flames were extinguished. As a result of an autopsy, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner determined that the cause of death was multiple stab and gunshot wounds, the MPD statement said. On Saturday, the NYPD said an armed suspect had opened fire on 2 apparently homeless people who were sleeping on the streets of New York City, killing one and wounding the other. The NYPD released photos of the person they believed targeted homeless men in 2 shootings Saturday. The shootings happened about 90 minutes apart in Lower Manhattan and were caught on surveillance footage, the department said. Video of the first shooting shows a man who appeared to be homeless sleeping near the corner of King Street and Varick when an unknown suspect approached and shot him in his forearm. NYPD Deputy Chief Commanding Officer Henry Sautner said during a news conference Saturday. The man woke up and shouted, "What are you doing?" at the shooter, who then ran away, Sautner added. Police were called to the scene around 4:30 a.m. Saturday and the 38-year-old victim was taken to a hospital for treatment. Later Saturday, investigators became aware of a second shooting outside of 148 Lafayette Street. Officers found a man in a sleeping bag with gunshot wounds to his head and neck, and he was pronounced dead at the scene, Sautner said. Surveillance video shows a suspect approaching the sleeping victim around 6 a.m. and discharging a weapon, Sautner said.